Yeah, Emo's always this classic spirit player, but how flexible they can be. And now we even get to see a Keeper of the Light as well, which was something that Vici Gaming was running twice, in fact, in their games yesterday, and we're still seeing it as well. I think it was played as a position too in the Pro Series earlier on in the day, so still continuing with that flex.
Man, this is like I don't remember the patch names, but like 7.2728. Omni Knight Sven was absolutely a combo that was scary, of course. Anything that just gives extra strength to Sven is fantastic for buffing up his damage, for buffing up his HP. Remaining. And it just feels like it synergizes very well with this hero that just wants to get in on the front line and brawl. Remaining. So I like it. You're able to take out people very quickly. It is reduced a little bit by the fact that you're going to be against a Keeper of the Light, and that Blinding Light's going to be pretty damn effective. But again, reduced by the Heavenly Grace, so it's not going to be like the destroyer of the push moving forward.
And Sven is a hero that isn't a huge fan of building MKB, so any evasion will always make his game difficult. That's where we can kind of see him itemized for potentially a Satanic, and of course Sven really likes the BKBs, but just using some different alternatives to help with that evasion.
Yeah, of course.
Or help with the mischance, I should say.
So I don't know where they're going to go with this, because obviously Keeper of the Light's pretty decent in lane. You're able to secure range creeps very nicely. And then when you get into the mid game, Void Spirit, just pump the Chakra Magics into him, and he deals so much damage, especially since the changes to the Aether Remnant, receiving, I think, up to about 100 extra damage from it. So I mean, it's very capable of picking off any of these targets on the backline, especially the likes of an Omni Knight, considering the fact that it's going to be a support. It's not going to be building into, quite as much beef as it would in the off lane, unless they've thrown us a little bit of a curveball here and Aster.Aries decide to do an Omni 3, but I'm probably not seeing it. They need a way to support this clockwork in starting the team fight.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I mean, the nice thing is at least that Invictus Gaming, they have the 18th and the 24th. They will go with the Night Stalker. Okay, so a little bit of D-synergy with the Coddle and the Night Stalker. Not that it really matters as much, of course, anymore, but great way to get on the leaner. You don't care about cogs. Omni Knight's a hero that relies on abilities, and as position 5, we've seen you don't get as much net worth, so maybe not being able to complete a 4-staff could be costly through these fights. Sven also, unless he gets super farmed, then he can kind of maybe 3-hit the Night Stalker, but apart from that, can get kind of kited with the free mobility. Not hating it. I mean, it's always with a Coddle, so they're always in the back of my mind. I'm like, maybe we could go back to the old days of China when they were playing this Coddle Night Stalker as a position 1 and 5.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's another one of those spell spammers, right? And just so capable of chasing people down, not only with, of course, the Dark Ascension to be able to have that extra movement speed, flying over trees, but also now the Solar Bind on the Coddle, which probably wasn't a thing back in the day that you're talking about, right? So now you've just got this menace. I always get freaked out by Night Stalker's mouth. Look at that thing. It's like a 3-sided mouth that opens up.
It is, and you take a look at how ripped he is as well. Like that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for the veins popping out. You see the shoulder
the tendons
insertions
connecting your second bicep insertion in your chest. Ugh.
He's hitting the gym. He's something. He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something to get that ripped. There's some pretty ripped Dota heroes. Like there's like Disruptor as well is surprisingly like buff as hell.
Shadow Demon is a tank, and that is quite surprising. All these intelligence heroes that are just in the gym, and then you just got Brewmaster, who's like he's like bear mode, no pun intended, but like just this gigantic stomach. That he would like squat or deadlift a crap ton.
Oh yeah. What are they looking to kind of carry them on the back here in the 3 potentially? Bloodseeker. That's quite the
way to
pick.
Stop them chasing you.
Yeah. What's the Astral Step range? Max range? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's in the Bloodseeker's damage threshold with Rupture.
It is. Yeah.
So this is quite the pick against Night Stalker and Void Spirit. It does not give you a great way to start fights.
Choose your hero.
This is a great Morphling game too. I was thinking about it before. The only reason why I didn't bring it up is because I was highlighting the double range aspects, and I feel like Silencer and Morphling could be pressured a little bit, but I think Bloodseeker in the early levels might not be able to do so. The reason why I like Morphling a lot is any Omni-Knight ability is incredible to steal. We often saw Morphling insta-pick versus the Omni-Knight position 3 because he just offered no kill threat in the lane, and once you get level 6, you get Purification and your own status resistance, which is incredibly busted. And against the Sven, very physical damage reliant, Morphling, maxed out Agi, super high armor, waveform range, I believe if he goes for that talent, just gets you out of the rupture damage. Lina is a bit of an issue if he has like Shadow Blade, LSA into Lucina Blade might be enough burst, but Firefly's Morphling's incredibly strong.
And especially like with the Lina, she probably is going to have that Silver Edge now, right? So just having the inbuilt crit, they did increase the gold cost on it, the recipe, I believe, by about 150. So it's going to come out one extra wave later. So it's not a huge nerf, but anything that kind of stops this snowbally style, I'm a big fan of, because there's nothing worse than a game where you're behind from the very start, and then it just feels like there's nothing that you can do about it, which is why I'm not a fan of Zoo. It's why I'm a fan of the fact that they're targeting Helm of the Overlord with nerfs a little bit, but still not enough. Don't think we're going to see it come out this game, though.
Well, how are we feeling about either team's draft to start the day here? Do we feel like Aster.Aries, you're probably the underdog coming in to this series? Are we a fan of their draft, or do we believe in the Dire lineup?
Well, I want to ask you, because Aster.Aries, they're kind of your namesake as well. So do you have any of a soft spot for them?
I mean, kinda. You know, you know how interesting it was having to.
Kaka, he pops it.
Okay,
they get out of there.
Should probably know there's a ward there.
Now they should. Well, Kaka, you're in a little bit of strife.
Oh, looks like Clockwork blocks off the retreat. And if they can give it to Ulu, maybe even Lina, that's probably better. You take that. Beautifully done. They also get the sniper, the ward too.
All right. Kind of confused with the position that Kako was moving. I'm not sure what he was thinking, going down, then left, then right. He could have just gone straight back to the tower and been totally fine.
Give a high five to celebrate the start here. Bit unfortunate. They don't spell Aries the way I do though, so I don't know. Like, you know, when I was doing the qualifiers for China, and I got like a ridiculous amount of Aster.Aries games, it was a bit confusing if they were talking about the team, talking about me, but I mean in the context you kind of know which team they're talking about. But they were a pleasant surprise with how they were able to perform through the qualifiers. I thought coming in they didn't change their roster, so Yona was their position 4. Unless he's just switched his name to Baku, I'm not sure though.
Yeah, unfortunately, these guys they don't get the same publicity as a lot of the other Chinese teams. I mean, the region's so stacked. 5 teams going to TI already, so unfortunately, you don't get the chance to see them perform all that much. So yeah, your name spelled much more like the god, right? And these guys, they're fans of the astrology.
Which, you know, maybe that's power enough to some people.
What's your sign?
Capricorn.
That's such a Capricorn thing to say.
I mean, JT? No way! Siamese Cap probably is going to end up falling here. Kaka on the position 4. Coddle. Well, what's your star sign then, huh? You roasted me for saying I'm a Capricorn. Saying that's a Capricorn thing to say.
You. Yeah. Capricorns are very proud. There was no hesitation. I mean, it always sounds bad. It's like the only sign that sounds bad. I'm a Cancer. That's
a Cancer thing to say. Yeah, no surprise. You're a Cancer. It's they definitely have to. Where did the names come from? Like, where did the Cancer originate, or where did they get the name Capricorn? Or
probably Karen down at her scrapbook club.
Oh, goddamn Karen. You know, the issue is that my auntie's name was Karen, so... Yeah. So it's like... It's... And she was nice. She was a lovely lady. And then it's the meme now. Karens, they're not nice ladies. I'm like, that's not true. But I've seen some... Oh, you see those videos online, and there's just these Karens that are... their reaction to some things can be a bit wild.
Just the entitlement. I mean, we're used to the entitlement here in Melbourne with big protests going on that probably shouldn't.
How's Morphlin's lane going? Fly. Yeah, so he is having a good time. It's again, I've still also been pretty suppressed with how we've been seeing this Silencer supports. I wasn't too sure if he was going to get pressure in the lane because I don't think a Bloodseeker early is too strong, but that's also pairing up with, I feel like Morphling and Silencer are also pretty weak at the early stage. But without any stun lock or nuke potential, I think Fly should now start to free farm this lane, and he already is, honestly.
Now, I'm not sure, like, again, I'm just going to go on about the synergy of everything again. And I don't think it was in their mind when they ended up picking it up. It was just a good pairing with a Coddle. But you've got another silence for the Silencer's damage to be amplified up with that crippling fear. And hell, even if you morph into a Bloodseeker, you've maybe got the Blood Right to give you something extra on top of that. So, Ollie, he's in a position where he could be dishing out a ton of damage in these team fights.
And was it Ollie playing it yesterday that was getting a ridiculous amount of damage? I'm trying to remember. We saw a Silencer game yesterday. Anyway, whoever it was just getting so much damage consistently through these early game fights here. And potentially when you have a lineup to synergize with, we could see him kind of help out. Because usually Silencer would lack a little bit of the early game damage.
Yeah, it was the Silencer for Ollie. Unfortunately, he was paired together with the Tusk Ags that I was not a fan of, so they didn't end up getting the win. But it was still a very good performance. The thing that he has to be mindful of, though, he had an amazing game. I think he started 6-0 or something like that. Is that Last Word and Arcane Curse? They're very strong spells, so you want to get them up as quickly as possible. But the Int Steal that you're able to get, the +2/-2, it's not retroactive, kind of like unlike Flesh Heap. You skill up Flesh Heap whenever you want on Pudge, and you just get all of that strength that you previously had obtained.
Actually might die here. Oh, the water Rudy needs it for the health. No. Oh, Baku just holding them back. I was watching that fight with a keen eye, seeing who was going to come out on top, but 3 points Dragon Slave early from Phoenix was enough to help nuke him down.
Very nicely done. But yeah, no retroactive plus intelligence, unfortunately, so you actually need to get the Glaives of Wisdom skilled up before you're able to actually steal.
JT down bot, trying to tank up the battery sword on the creep wave. Maybe Kaka can do that job now for him, but a beautiful Cogs again, locking in another target here for the Clockwork, and that's a big kill, because I was just going to say, there's actually, meanwhile, mid lane, Phoenix, are they going to go for the dive to simulate? Doesn't get the extra damage, but there's the Arcane Curse, level 2 up for Ollie, and that's a big kill to pick up.
Yeah, he dealt a ton of damage in that. Like, have a look at the fight recap, nearly 1,000 damage from your Silencer just in that little skirmish. And that was on one target as well. Keep in mind that he's going to be hitting multiple.
Yeah, I was just going to say before they made the rotation down to kill off the Night Stalker is that JT's laning stage has gone incredibly well. We've often seen the first 5 minutes on a Night Stalker is being pressured out, but the fact that he's got 28 last hits over the 21 on Ulu, yes, the Sven will definitely be able to catch up in the jungle. I mean, they haven't got any ancient stacks at the moment. There is a double at the hard, but they have now given JT a free lane. So this is kind of singing out sirens to me that this tower is going to fall very early on down bot, and then maybe Nightstalk can get active potentially.
And that's one of the big weaknesses of Aster.Aries draft right now, is that these supports cannot counter push. It's not like you've got a Coddle that you can just stick there and make sure that the creep wave goes away, that either the hero or the siege creep needs to be tanking those tower hits. Omni does nothing. Clockwork does nothing, and I don't think they want to put Phoenix down there just yet because they need to secure the early game start that he's had from, of course, being a leaner in lane. And to put that at risk against a Night Stalker on the bot side, that's definitely not where he wants to be.
Okay. Well, they're not going to do much damage to the tower. Oh, they will glyph it up now, I guess, because mid's taking a bit of a beating from Phoenix at the moment, but all the lanes looking pretty solid here. How do you feel like this Bloodseeker 3 is going to help enable Aster.Aries? Because he doesn't have the easiest way to start fights. It feels like there's a lot of emphasis on the Clockwork fulfilling that role.
Yeah, I don't think it's about starting team fights for him. I think for him, it's about how is he going to counter initiate. So, their vision needs to be on point so that when you hear that Night Stalker pop the Dark Ascension, you just know exactly where you need to run to get off that rupture and prevent your supports from just being 100 to 0. They feel like they've got the capability to scale, right? Sure, you're against a Morphling, which is always going to be very scary, but you're a Sven, right? Like, you can scale. You can have this... Oh, Kaka might be in a bit of trouble here. This will definitely help, but if Ulu is able to pick up his 3rd kill...
Yeah, wow, he's got 3 kills already. I mean, it's not really showing the net worth as Oli as well is in kind of a bizarre position there for a position 5 silencer. Very kind of overstepped the mark with how squishy he is and will get punished here.
I think they pinged out the fact that they've got the Observer Ward up there, though, so gives them a little bit of a juicy opportunity to get another... It's kind of late into the game, but
Jump
a small camp block.
Phoenix should be okay. And Bloodseeker's now showing up. Emo's going to try and juke down here to the bottom side and just gets out of the rupture range.
With a DD rune for his troubles.
I'll make it worth popping the double ultimate there.
Siamese drop down the Sentry Ward, so I don't think they have vision of it yet. The Observer Ward, it's just out of range of their own obs.
Radiant's bottom tower
But when they do eventually start to push forward, they'll be able to get that one out.
So
yeah, look at how, I don't want to say punished, because Emo, he's only died the one time, but it just goes to show the strength of Alina against any kind of melee, even something as versatile as the Void Spirit. He's 1,000 gold ahead in net worth.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lena's a hero that's going to be able to farm an incredible amount. I mean, it feels like the boots of travel, though, at a fast timing is so important for Aster.Aries because they need this Lena to show up to fights with her early damage because, you know, the clock and Omni pre-6, especially for clockwork, can be a bit difficult to get that damage out. Emo just has to go for a straight TP, but Phoenix is already in range. Who dodged the stun, but nonetheless, the inevitable is coming here for the Void Spirit. He'll try and do as much damage as he can. In fact, almost killing off Phoenix, but that's a big kill to find.
Phoenix would have died if he wasn't holding those infused raindrops, so real value purchase for him. I like the play from Emo as well. You know, he knows he's going down. He may as well use the Astral Steps for the shortest range possible. So it was a close one. I mean, if he was able to pull that off and get a kill in exchange, that would have been enormous.
And even though Emo is having a bit more of a difficult game, you take a look. I mean, JT, top of the net worth here on the Night Stalker, almost Echo Saber completed. Hasn't really been getting too active. Looks like putting a lot more emphasis on trying to secure his farm. And then maybe with the Echo Saber, with that first use of the Dark Ascension, he could find a nice team fight to bring them back here. At least, I mean, they still got 1,000 net worth lead, but mainly get Emo involved and also Fly. He's having a great time at the moment here. You know, he's 3rd in net worth, really just free farming. And the fact that they haven't been able to pressure out the Morphling back into the jungle feels really nice.
Well, even though it was daytime and they finally got vision of that Observer Ward, Emo made a beeline for it, so he made sure to get the deny off. So a little bit less vision now for IG, but they're the ones that are going to be getting on the offensive very soon. As soon as that Echo Saber comes out for JT, look for them to group up, pop a Dark Ascension. You can see they've got the infused raindrops on a few of their heroes as well, so they know that one of the few ways that they're going to be going down is through the burst from this Lina.
Boom, there it goes.
Alright, so Clock's got level 6 now. Will make it a whole lot easier to be able to start these fights and not instantly just off the mark there in the hook shot. Oli, nice sidestep. Also just got the tome delivered, so they themselves will have the level 6 with that global silence.
I mean, their time is now, right? Like, you've just taken away the counter initiation from the hook shot. You've got your Echo Saber coming out now for the Night Stalker. They've got a bot wave pushing in, so either they're going to make a play around the mid lane and cause the tower to slightly push in and, you know, maybe deal some tier 2 tower damage. That would be nice. I don't think they're in a position to invade yet, and there's not even any stacks, so yeah, just play around that mid lane. Why not?
We do see, out of all the space that's been getting picked up at the moment, Sven, now at the top of the net worth, still hasn't died from Ulu. And with the Ancients that he's been able to play around, you know, this is the big thing that it feels like for Dire, no one's been farming the Ancients. Maybe this is something you can criticize. You know, yes, Fly has been controlling the top side, but maybe that's a lane where you could have given Kaka and then Fly could farm up the Ancients, because that is a side of the map that no one is touching right now on IG.
I like this from Aster.Aries though. They're making sure that they're not just sitting back. They're gonna maybe pick off someone. No, JT just wanted a little bit of extra vision, and there we go. They get the rupture off.
JT does have heroes nearby to at least protect him through the rupture duration, but a hook shot straight on top of Oli. Nice blinding light gives him a little bit of space to potentially get the global silence off if a further fight does break out. Even Ulu looking to get involved as well, along with Fly. So both the position ones from either team respectively. Looking to get active here. Fly, gotta be careful. Back to the Morphling, but this lack of control there really showing the moment. It's an early Spirit Vessel picked up and silence will wear off. Another great blinding light from Kaka, but Invictus Gaming not in fighting condition at the moment, as maybe they can chase down Kaka, but still the hook shot is on Kud, and Nemo, he's actually going to jump in forward. He's got the double damage rune, only one more charge left of the Astral Sept, so he's going to be cautious how long he sticks around.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Sure, IG were hoping that fight would have gone a lot better. It was a little bit of an odd choice of when to go. Some nice individual plays coming out there from me, but they're still going to go.
They've got to kill off the Omni. Yep, they'll do so to start. Now they'll turn to Ulo next as well. Nice dodge here. Stormhammer along with the Bloodright stump, but it's still Emo. He's so cautious at the moment. We saw what happened previously when he overstepped the mark, but finally they're able to kill off this Sven. First death of the game. They need to now jump Phoenix. All of their damage coming through from Lina on the backline with that Dragon Slave is enough to find the kill on the Void Spirit. With Fly getting involved, again, the lack of stuns means that this Morphling has nothing really to fear at the early game.
Man, these Aether Remnants by Emo have been fantastic. The first one enabling the Night Stalker to get away. In the middle of 4 heroes, he lands it in onto the Sven while he's chasing him down. And then again, just gets it in onto the Sven again, locking him down and able to burst him down. So even though Emo ends up dying, he's created the tempo. You have to keep in mind that all throughout the second half of that fight, JT was not there. He was just farming on the bottom side, using the daytime to the full effect that you can as a Night Stalker, and just getting his safe farm when you can.
Are there any items that we could potentially see picked up in the next kind of minute or so that might, change the status quo of this game? Because it's been very even so far. Just, I think 2,000 in fact is the highest net worth lead, and yeah, it is.
I mean, it's nothing super flashy, but the 4-stars are coming pretty soon for IG, which could be quite big. Only 200 gold away from Karkas, which of course is going to be great against the Clockwork. You've got a little bit of extra assistance from getting out of the Bloodright, which is great. Kiting the Sven. I think those could be probably the next big key.
And it's even getting closer to the nighttime too. So just, the time difference instead of items here. JT?
Oh,
I thought Phoenix was going to cut into that tree line there, but Dire actually coming down. Clockwork is in a position to try and protect Phoenix, but now they know the Clockwork's nearby too. He just needs to make sure he holds the Void, because if he doesn't, then Phoenix can TP up, and now Fly is nearby, so they'll have an instant cancel if need be. On the backline though, Kaka is being caught out from Baku, but it looks like still the nearby vicinity, and the heroes, JT and Fly comes to the rescue mid lane. Even the Bloodseeker's gonna fall. Oli dropping the global silence to prevent the sustain from the Omni Knight, and our Siamese Cat's in trouble, but unfortunately missed the Aether Remnant. It's gonna cost them the kill on the Omni Knight.
man, how did they end up getting that kill? It ends up costing them a global silence for it, but the rich get richer. The Sven, he's farming, but he's not farming the things that are gonna give him the most value. Only now Siamese Cat's starting to build up a few stacks, but now that they've lost the tier 1 tower mid, this area is a whole lot more vulnerable for Aster.Aries. Not even getting the stack off, actually.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I think they saw Kaka place that ward on the high ground, so Siamese should be able to find the D ward there. Kaka, look how aggressive he's farming right now. And yeah, Clock's got hookshot too. Kaka needs to play with the neutrals, and yeah, nice kind of stutter step there. Just made sure the neutrals was able to block off the hookshot.
He had the 4-staff anyway, so he should have been fine. Pretty fast one too, and the pig pole. That goddamn pig pole for someone with amazing movement speed like a Keeper of the Light.
Some pretty good neutral items as well with the Fairy's Trinket on the Void Spirit. You'll always take the Possessed Mask here for the Morphling as well. Radiant, though,
Dire's middle tower
looking to try and
is
push
under
down the middle
attack.
lane. They don't have Glyph, but luckily enough for a support that's able to easily clean off the creep wave, but without having to worry about the backdoor protection, Ulu can just do the dirty work. Meanwhile, top lane, though, by the secret shop, Ollie is going to attempt the TP out. They've got the vision thanks to the Bloodseeker to set up for that LSA, but it leaves the Omni Knight vulnerable in the mid lane, and now they're even thinking about chasing back Ulu as well. The Blinding Light mischance, still not really able to pressure out Karka's positioning. You see how aggressive he's been placing himself at the moment.
They got the rupture.
Now with the rupture out, JT is able to make it on the high ground, will attempt to TP out. Phoenix doesn't have a way to cancel. Well, he attempted it, but a nice side set from JT, but still with the hook shot. They found Emo as well. Ulu providing the burst through the physical damage. Now Fly, he's going to attempt another TP, but Phoenix this time not able to cancel it. So a successful flurry of kills though for Aster.
Yeah, very nicely done by Aster.Aries. The Light Strike Array was just too long on cooldown, otherwise he would have gone for that Light Strike Array a little bit sooner. But yeah, I mean, you get out of position with that God Strength, Void Spirit can still get burst down real quick. He's gone basically nothing in terms of stuff that's going to provide him HP. So it all provides him, it all relies on him and his mechanics to be able to dodge people out.
Yeah, I wonder what the next item's going to be here for Emo. I mean,
it has to be Ags for mine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be so effective. Get it onto those back lines. You know, if you're able to get, what is it, total 4 seconds of silence in onto an Omni Knight, that's the time that you need to burst down one of these higher priority targets. Because, you know, you can see here, Phoenix, he's gone for the BKB. So that's obviously going to be quite a lot to deal with once he pops it. Because your damage is still very heavily magical super early on until Fly eventually builds into a bit more, but he's got the E-Blade now, so I think that's probably the next priority for them. Kill Lina before she's able to finish up that BKB, but she's damn close already.
Well, in fact, JT, he just completed his own BKB, so pretty big item timings coming through from IG, and they're going to smoke up instantly. Heading
a minute left on that nighttime.
Top lane where Karka has got the lane shoved in. They already have the position, the observed ward as well, but it should net them a tower once they get this kill. That's the important thing. If you only get a support out of a smoke, it never feels worth it, but an objective at least gives you some more map control and some gold as well.
The sun sets on your
A little bit, and I suppose this is one of the more valuable ones. Actually, they're just
Maybe
gonna
Rosh?
back off.
Under attack.
They have to go.
I guess.
Dire's
Okay.
bottom tower is under
They're
attack.
committing.
15 seconds. They should take it pretty fast. They're going to be careful of Blood right though. That might disrupt them. And a Sven in a choke point.
Radiant's
They
top
don't have
tower
Sven
is
at the
under
moment
attack.
though. And Rosh is falling. Half health at the moment. But Fly's very low health pool. So Karka needs to pop his. He's able to do so. Now they've used the Rupture on the Coddle. This will enable JT through the fight. Now that he doesn't have to worry about the Bloodseeker ultimate. Ollie pops the global. Now with the BKB, however, Lina's used this one incredibly early. Ooh, looking to jump the backline, but the shotgun burst is there to deal with the Bloodseeker. And now JT, great target prioritization. Deals with the Omni Knight. They got the hook shot in the backline, but it's not going to matter. There's no damage fall at the moment. Ollie, he's already got his abilities off. You'll cut down the Void Spirit, but now Phoenix is vulnerable as well. A waveform forward, kills off the Lina. Now Baku's going to fall as well. It'll be a 5-man wipe in the river. What an incredible fight from Invictus Gaming. And back for the cherry on top is the Roshan.
I'm kind of surprised that they were able to get that much out of it. A very slight misplay coming out there from Baku. He gets the good hook shot onto the back lines, but doesn't adjust his positioning, so he gets the cogs push in onto the Morphling. So he's able to just freely hit down the Sven, who pops the God Strength and didn't really get any value out of it at all. So it's a big swing going IG's way. I was kind of surprised that they didn't go for the tier 1 top, right? It was already sitting kind of low. Sure, it was going into the daytime soon enough, but you were always going to be using Dark Ascension around the time of that Rosh fight. So ends up working out for him.
It's the issue is that you cannot use Rupture on a Coddle. Like, that fight is pretty much solely won from the fact that Rupture was used on a Coddle. He does nothing in that fight. Like, you need to Rupture either Emo or Night Stalker. And instantly I said it. If as soon as Coddle? Cogs isn't enabling any more follow-up, and Fly should have the shotgun burst. They might look for more. Emo, still got to be careful here. Let's jump on forward. Phoenix doesn't have the greatest execution catch to lock in Emo, but if they can deal with the Omni Knight, and they will be able to, and Fly still Strength more up just before the stun. They're looking to reset though. Ollie's the target. Force Staff still on cooldown. Ulu's going to try and blink in forward. The control's not there to kite out the Sven, but still, even JT getting involved, but they burst through Emo. Fly as well. Somehow, they get the kill on the Bloodseeker before they retreat. Ulo still hunting, Fly trying to juke with the illusions. Looks like he's going to have to give up the first life for the Aegis and Dire. The rest of the reinforcements aren't coming through for another at least 15 seconds. So that is a big hold there as Aster.Aries get the Aegis.
Yeah, get the Aegis. God's Strength did still have about a third of its duration left, but I'm sure that was one of the supports on Aster.Aries saying, bro, Dark Ascension, it's going to be back up online. So let's just look to take a bit of a backseat for this one because JT hadn't used the BKB up till that point. They'd used basically everything on Aster.Aries' side, and they definitely had the turnaround potential there.
Ooh, Night Stalker's got an Orchid. We don't usually see that considering crippling, like this hero gets countered by BKBs and crippling fear nighttime 7-second duration. So this is a really interesting itemization.
But it might just mean that he wants to, he's got a Blink Dagger queued up next. Blink in, get the Orchid in onto the Omni Knight and then burst someone else down.
That is true. That could enable you to, who do you think then is the valuable target if you silence the Omni? I guess Lina then is probably what they could be looking for.
Sure, but Lina's got the BKB. The only one that's kind of lacking that sort of protection right now, in my eyes, is the Bloodseeker, because the Sven, he's getting close to building into his. He's just disassembled his Echo Saber, so he's definitely going to be on the way to be building into it shortly. You would assume. I mean, his quick buy is a little bit weird with what there, but I think a lot of these upcoming team fights are going to be on the back of the Bloodseeker, right? Because he's very close to finishing up a Lotus Orb for himself. So if he's able to, if that is indeed the plan for the Night Stalker, he's going to get it onto the Omni Knight, get the silence onto him. If you could just straight up Lotus that off and then drop your Guardian Angel, then that's a huge team fight swing for Aster.Aries.
Yeah. He does have the BKB completed as well. The recipe's on the courier. So
cool.
Ulu's pretty farm. The issue is so is Fly. And it's a pretty goddamn good Morphling game, honestly. I mean, it's still yet to die here. Emo as well is also kind of picking up on farm. Is he? What's he got on the courier? Otherwise, he's a bit behind the Ags. Okay, never mind. He's very far behind the Ags.
Yeah, I thought okay, well, he's purchased up the point booster. He should be just fine. But, he doesn't have any of the other components. Right. It's
a slow one for him to get there. They have been able to kill him off a couple times. Maybe he'll definitely need some armor as this game goes on, especially with Lina's right clicks and more importantly, the Sven as well. I feel like you not really having to worry about the Omni and the clockwork damage. Really feels like, it's actually got even a Mage Slayer queued up here for Baku.
okay. Something a little bit different.
He switched it.
Boo. It would have been a long time until he picked it up anyway. He switched it again. Going the full pipe. Pipe makes total sense for me.
Yeah.
Every single one of these heroes is going to be doing magic damage to you, so you get insane value out of it. Man, we haven't had a single team fight on the Dire side of the map. It kind of goes to what we were saying before, right? Everything about this is how Aster.Aries is going to counter-initiate what IG are doing, because they need to run at you. You need to take advantage of these Night Stalker night times. And so it's just how are Aster.Aries going to be able to set themselves up for the best chance of victory in these? So far, they've been doing okay outside of that Rosh pit fight with the Rupture being put onto the unfortunately wrong target, but it could still swing very easily into their favor. And they've been able to take out 2 tier 1s, let's not forget. So it's not like they've just been sitting back doing nothing.
Yeah, well, we're even in regards to objectives at the moment. So it's only a 4,000 gold deficit for the side of Radiant. Nothing that it can't be swung back in their favor in quick succession. It does still feel like Dire probably looking for their next big set of items here with the Ags on Void, the Skadi on the Morphling. Night Stalker, of course, did just complete his, but even the Aghanims on Coddles coming up shortly. That's going to be a great way to help kind of kite the Sven through these fights after BKB expires.
The big thing that's lacking for mine right now on Ares' side is vision. you know, they've only got the one observer ward available in their inventories, I believe. As well, Baku is at least going to scout out Kaka with the rocket flare, so that's nice. But the only observer ward vision that's down right now is on this bottom side. So they see where Fly is, they saw where Kaka is because of the rocket flare, and they're actually going to respond to it. So that was enough. But I think you're still in a position where you could probably look to get some more.
Radiant, smoked up. Don't get vision to
Radiant's bottom
Kaka.
tower is under
They
attack.
really
Career
rely
as
on the
well.
clockwork as well. Ollie, along with Fly's nearby, they've got an observer ward in the lane. The hookshot forward on Ollie, Fly. Make sure he gets away. They're not going to get detection on him with the Blood Ride, and looks like Ollie more than likely the only hero to fall, as Cotter was also buried himself deep into the tree line. So a smoke just to get the silencer with a lot of time wasted here. Probably not what you're hoping for, considering Emo, he now just needs 800 gold until the Aghanims.
That was outstanding
Radiant's
positioning
middle
from Kaka.
tower
He
is
breaks
under
the smoke,
attack.
he baits the blink
Dire's
from
bottom
the
tower is under
Sven
attack.
onto him and ends up getting away with his life.
Dire's structures are fortified.
See, if it was me, I would
Radiant's
probably look
middle
to get
tower
that
is
smoke
under
going.
attack.
Get a
Dire's
ward up
bottom
first
tower
inside their
is under
triangle. If you
attack.
catch one of these cores that are
Dire's
farming,
bottom tower
fantastic.
has
If
fallen.
not, you've still got deep vision. And it's still vision that's very unlikely to be dewarded because, like I mentioned before, IG want to be playing on your side of the map.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, and you see that they're trying to
Dire's
do just that
bottom
at the
tower
moment.
is under attack.
This tier 1 tower should give Emo enough gold to complete the Aghanims if they give the kill over. No, he's still pretty much a one creep away from it. So that's going to be big for him, as, you know, it was kind of lacking in the net worth regard, but a little bit of time and space for him. Nothing that, you know, can't bring him back in a game.
Nighttime, so it's always scary. Ulu, he's showing in the mid lane, pushing it in a little bit, perhaps forcing someone to come back and defend against this, let's call it a double wave that's coming into their tier 2 tower, but top wave is being pushed just
Dire's
as strongly.
middle tower is under attack.
Just see how much more confident they are at playing around this area now, though. This is the first time that Aster.Aries have ventured onto the dire side of the map, and it's because of that vision. It just provides them with so much safety.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's
They are
bottom
doing
tower is under attack.
decent amount of damage to the towers. They're even
structures are
lifting it up
fortified.
too. Okay. So
And it's going to take out a siege creep, you don't mind, right? And it's also protected theirs against this push on the bot side, so this little wave is going to end up doing more than what the Dire do.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oof, DD though.
Emo.
This is scary. It's
Oh,
nighttime.
he's jumping in. Block the hook shot. Global Sun's going to come through as the chain lock not enough through Emo. He's going to be able to get back to safety. So they'll bring down the Bloodseeker before the Rup shot. Kodo just picked up the Aghanims as well. So potential Will-O-Wisp for the team fight. And it'll only drag back Siamese Cat. But the Omni Knight is really far away from any support of his cause.
Radiant's middle tower is under
And now
attack.
JT, he can reinitiate as well as the rest of Radiant. Looking to scurry deep behind their tier 2 tower, but the only issue is that JT has still got the Dark Ascension. They've still got immense amount of vision capabilities to jump the Lina. They're able to do so with ease. Morphling finally will get brought down for the clockwork, but however, with the numbers disadvantage, Aster.Aries, how do you take the fight? With the BKB on cooldown, Ulu is going to continue to get kited, can attempt the Stormhammer, but an in and out from Emo secures another team wipe.
That was the effect of the Ags, right? Emo was able to get in onto the Omni Knight, use both Resonant Pulse charges to make sure he wasn't able to get the Guardian Angel off. Bloodseeker dies in the meantime, despite having the Lotus Orb available. So perhaps a few quick fingers needed to occur there in order to enable that Guardian Angel and prevent just the 100-0 death. And, you know, you just saw Night Stalker, he's able to walk around doing whatever the hell he wants. He doesn't have that rupture onto him.
And I think the Night Stalker also just picked up the Aghanim shot. Have you seen this too much? At least with Night Stalker getting some resurgence. I
Radiant's
haven't
bottom
as
tower
of
is under
yet.
attack.
I haven't, and it's not even like a super new thing, right? It was there in the old patch. People
Yep.
just never bought it.
It is
What's he gonna do?
it's incredible for keeping you on the map. I mean, 30% of your maximum HP and 25% of your max mana. Like, you see he does kind of have issues with some resources, and yeah, he's pretty much back up to full and respectable mana pool. So it's great in that regard. Does it buff up any... No, so just... Okay.
No. He was going to eat up an ancient creep, but that was sentryed as a result of the previous excursion from Aster.Aries. going into the Nullifier next. I really like that. You know, it's going to prevent a lot of these defensive capabilities, notably from the Clockwork, and you know, of course, against the Omni Knight, the Guardian Angel, not going to be as big of a factor either. Heavenly Grace still undispellable, but Guardian's the one that you're really concerned about.
Fly. They did finally kill him the previous fight. Wait, they forced a very early BKB from Ulu. It is the Ignis Fatus committed. Radiant, however,
smoking up. I don't know if they had vision of that.
Tower is under attack.
Do it with flair.
Are Dire gonna smoke now? They are.
They ping seeming to think that they might have had vision there, but they don't. You know, I'm sure IG might be surprised with how little vision Aster.Aries have right now. But anyway, it's still nighttime for the next 40 seconds, so they're still getting out of there as quickly as possible.
And Lina just TP'd bot as well. They're looking to connect straight away. They recognize that they have to play as 5, but IG not daring to walk up that high ground.
Are scanning.
Scan goes off. It's on top of where JT is, so I'm not sure what they're expecting to figure out there.
Feels like Roshan's going to be that next big objective. Radiant and might have the flare long enough to see Rosh spawn. They do. Any pings? No pings from Radiant. But
Do it with flair.
there's a great...
They're flaring it again.
Okay, yep, they'll see now. Fly's instantly going to start. So what's still on cooldown? BKB's back up. Eden's back up as well. Can't believe it's still in a 60-second cooldown. They didn't nerf that, but okay.
Is under attack.
Arcane power.
And Dire, they're actually standing on the high ground. I mean, this is a great spot to play the choke point with your Observer Ward. You know, just kind of lock and control this side of the map.
The power of the Clockwork, though. They know that they've taken control over this area, and so we see a bit of a wraparound going on here from Aster.Aries. Baku being careful not to reveal all that much. Doesn't really have much in the form of like defensive capabilities. A Glimmer Cape is nice, but you know, you'd be going up onto high ground where you know that they've dropped a sentry of some sort.
Emo, jump in instantly straight on Siamese Cat. He's got the Lotus Orb, but still the constant silence is there. He'll purge off the global silence. Ignis controlling only the Clockwork at the moment, but look, they're just avoiding them. They can kill off the Bloodseeker. They're going to try and jump. The Morphling's falling incredibly low. Fly with the extra agility. Armor's enough to keep alive. And now with the Omni Knight, he can turn with the Heavenly Grace as Morphling unable to get bursted down. They jump into the backline. However, JT is ruptured up, so his mobility is going to be affected here, but still Emo has got a lot left in the tank. Once again, trying to catch out the Omni Knight. They're able to do so successfully, but the Omni is going to buy back IG. They've got to be cautious how deep they go. Phoenix is chunking down the backline here. The mischance not coming into play, but still Fly. Unable to deal with the Morphling so far. He's going to try and catch out the Bloodseeker as well. So still Ulu, with the BKB on cooldown, heavily relying on Siamese Cat at the moment. The Heavenly Grace not enough as Fly will shotgun him down. Consistent amount of buybacks coming through from Radiant and Baku. In fact, that's now your dieback. Oh, and also Bloodseeker is going to get caught too.
Another dieback.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Triple kill for Ollie. I mean, that Aster.Aries, they just did so many things almost right. You know, the Lotus Orb usage was on point, but then they just followed it up immediately with another silence, and then another silence onto the Bloodseeker, making sure that he was never able to get off the Rupture until the very end. The buyback needing to be used, and as soon as you're buying back on the likes of a Bloodseeker without doing anything on your first life, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's 3 buybacks forced out there from Radiant, and now should be very easy for Dire to take Roshan. It's just, you see the emphasis that they are just splitting them up in fights. Like Emo's chasing down the chasing down the Omni, and then Night Stalker was targeting the Bloodseeker, and then the rest of the cores were getting split. Like often it can be difficult and can be frustrating for support when you need your cores to kind of bodyguard you, and in a game like this, it's so difficult.
Did they end up giving the shard over to the... I think
I
it was Emo? Yeah.
Coin for me.
It's not bad on the Void Spirit. The extra 200 damage is something you don't recognize as often, and I mean, especially with that extra ring though, that's the big thing. How mobile you can be allows you to
is under
just that much
attack.
easier to jump the Omni.
It
Radiant's
just feels
top
like you
tower
deal an
has
insane
fallen.
amount of damage right now on this Void Spirit, right? Like, he's got the intelligence buffed up as well from the Psychic Headband, so every single time he's using that Astral Step, you're getting a lot of damage done.
And he even went for that Spell Amp talent
Radiant's
too
middle
at the
tower is
20.
under attack.
She's almost Octarine, so even easier
Radiant's middle tower
with how
has
he's going to be
fallen.
able to start to play these games. And can we ever see Ulu be this
Dire's
X factor
bottom
maybe,
tower is under
or
attack.
Eyes potentially on the late game leaner?
I think Ulu still can. He's recently picked up a Silver Edge for himself, which is going to be really nice. I mean, you're putting yourself a little bit in Fate's hands with hoping for the crits. 160% damage on a Sven, of course, is still incredibly deadly. He's going to be walking underneath a Sentry Ward, though, so they see the fact that he had the Silver Edge completed.
Look at them.
Look at him. They
Baku.
don't care.
Sentry
Octarine
up.
Core on Emo, too.
It's a big one to find.
His
20
damage is insane right now.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Like, the amount of damage that you're able to get with that Spell Amp, with the extra Dissimulate damage, 2 uses of Resonant Pulse, Astral Step being buffed up in 7.30. It's crazy.
An 18,000 lead here in our game 1, and Dire, with how they've been able to execute these fights, look like they're in an incredible position to be able to continue to kind of close this game 1 out here, as Radiant are doing whatever they can. There's Silver's Edge and Shadow Blades for them, trying to see if they can find the angle for the pickoff, but IG making sure to not give them any opportunity.
Well, Omninus finished up a Lotus Orb of his own, so that's really nice for him. You know, he's going to be able to have that save where he doesn't need to be standing next to the Bloodseeker.
Radiant are scanning.
For mine, I would probably give him over the...
Dire. They smoked up, they want to defend the ward. Ignis on the choke
man.
point, Ulu. He jumps the Coddle, but it's a little bit too late. The Ignis has already been used. They've caught out Flyfly at the moment, the chain lockdown. There's no extra follow-up. Ulu's still going to try and target Flyfly, but he doesn't give a damn. He'll turn with the Skadi. The Sven's getting chunked down after the BKB, and that no buyback available for the two heroes. Just a mis-executed a fight, unfortunately for them, and looks like it's going to cost them their game here as Invictus Gaming take game 1 36 minutes in.
So I was watching the Grand Adventures of Sven while he tried to chase the backlines. How did Omni-Knight end up dying?
I was watching the Sven as
died
well. I'm
to
trying to
Emo.
remember now. Oh yeah, I didn't see
Died
the...
to Emo, but was it just Emo? Because what I was about to say before that fight broke out is that it feels like with IG, with who they were going to be focusing on, the Clockwork is never the #1 priority. It's either the Bloodseeker or the Omni-Knight that are the priority. And hell, if you could catch the Lina without a BKB, sure, her as well. But for mine, if we have a look at the neutral items in the post-game scoreboard, there's really no reason for a Clockwork to be holding a Blast Rig for mine. Omni-Knight was not anywhere close to picking up a new item, so the Philosopher's Stone isn't going to do all that much. I would feel much more comfortable if I would be putting that saving item over onto the likes of an Omni-Knight or the Bloodseeker, just to provide them with that extra, whatever it is, 3 seconds of attack misses, you know? And at the very least, you force them to pop an early BKB. Maybe you could turn the team fight around with that extra few seconds of time that you've gained for yourself. But not opting to do so. Omni-Knight dies, and because of that, Sven just melted like butter.
Yeah, we saw it was looking like a bit of a rough start for Hemo's Void Spirit, but in the end, he was still able to provide exactly what they needed of this hero, mitigating that Omni-Knight defensive factor. And we also saw the rest of the lanes have an incredible time as well, as JT, he was able to get involved, and Firefly's Morphling is nothing to shy away from as well. 12, 1, and 11. There's a lot of emphasis on Emo's Morphling, but Firefly showing that he can still take up the reins here of this tricky position 1. And for Invictus Gaming now, beautiful game 1 performance from them, as we're able to take it 36 minutes in. We'll send it over to a break with game 2 around the corner.